6 people have died after 2 helicopters collided mid-air in Brazil. Among the victims is the popular singer Oliver Tree. It happened yesterday morning in Rio de Janeiro. Tree was coming off of a stop on his world tour.
At 32, Oliver Tree's life has taken a sudden and shocking turn that many people are still trying to understand. He is known for his unusual style, strange and creative personality that made him stand out from others. But now, a tragic event around him has turned into a morbid and confusing story that people are talking about everywhere. There are many questions, and not all answers are clear yet. Some details are known, while others are still rumors or guesses. What really happened, and how did things end up this way? Join us in this video as we reveal the details. The tragedy of Oliver Tree is beyond heartbreaking. Oliver Tree was reportedly in the middle of an important period of his life and career. After spending years building a name for himself through music,
new surveillance footage showing a deadly helicopter crash.
It's hard to watch. You can see here one of the helicopters rapidly falls from the sky after colliding with another helicopter over Rio de Janeiro this morning.
Videos, comedy, and creative projects, he was focused on taking control of his future as an independent artist. According to reports, he had recently separated from his former record label and was working hard to prove that he could continue creating music on his own terms. This new chapter reportedly meant a great deal to him because it represented freedom, creativity, and the chance to follow his own vision without outside pressure. Reports stated that he was traveling through South America as part of a tour. The journey reportedly began in Mexico City before continuing to other countries in the region. Crowds gathered to watch his performances, and fans reportedly welcomed him with excitement wherever he went. During this period, he appeared active on social media and continued sharing videos and updates with followers. According to reports, he spent time creating content, meeting people, and exploring new places while traveling. Sources claimed that after completing several performances, he arrived in Brazil, where he continued working on content and enjoying the experience. Videos reportedly showed him interacting with people and taking part in activities while spending time in the country. Those who followed his journey said he appeared energetic and focused on his work. There was little sign that anything unusual was about to happen. According to reports, plans were later made for a trip to an island location several hours away. The journey was expected to be a routine part of the travel schedule. However, reports claimed that events took a tragic turn during the early hours of June 14th. Sources stated that Oliver Tree was among several passengers traveling in a helicopter when a serious accident reportedly occurred. According to multiple reports, 2 helicopters were involved in a mid-air collision. One aircraft reportedly carried several passengers, including Oliver Tree, while the second helicopter reportedly carried only its pilot. Reports claimed that the 2 aircraft collided while in flight, creating a situation from which nobody was able to recover. Sources stated that both helicopters eventually fell from the sky and crashed. Witnesses reportedly described a frightening scene. Some reports claimed that flames were visible shortly after the collision. Other accounts suggested that debris scattered across the area as emergency crews rushed toward the scene. According to reports, one of the helicopters came down in an area containing parked vehicles. The impact reportedly caused a fire that spread through part of the location and damaged numerous electric vehicles nearby. Several witness statements circulated online in the hours that followed. One report claimed that a person may have jumped from one of the helicopters moments before impact. The details surrounding that claim remained unclear, but the story quickly spread across social media as people attempted to understand what had happened. Many observers described the reported event as terrifying and heartbreaking. As news of the incident spread, people around the world reportedly struggled to believe it. Oliver Tree had built a reputation for surprising audiences. Throughout his career, he became known for unusual jokes, strange characters, and unexpected stunts. Because of this history, some fans initially wondered if the reports were part of another elaborate prank. Many people reportedly waited for confirmation before accepting the possibility that something serious had happened. According to reports, fellow creators and entertainers soon began reacting publicly. Messages of sadness and disbelief appeared across social media. Some individuals shared memories of working with him, while others spoke about his influence on music and online culture. The sudden nature of the reports left many people shocked. Several comments focused on how quickly life can change and how one small decision can completely alter a person's future. One story that gained attention involved an individual who had reportedly been expected to join the helicopter trip, but missed the flight because of a last-minute commitment. According to reports, that unexpected change may have saved his life. The story led many people to reflect on fate, timing, and the fragile nature of life. Social media users discussed how a simple schedule change could completely transform the outcome of a day. Authorities reportedly launched an investigation into the incident. Sources stated that experts began examining evidence from the crash site, while attempting to understand exactly what had happened in the moments before the collision. Investigators reportedly worked to gather information from witnesses and review all available records connected to the flight. As questions continued to grow, many people waited for answers that could explain how such a rare and devastating event reportedly occurred. What struggles, dreams, and experiences shaped the remarkable journey that made Oliver so unique? Let's find out. Music, struggles, and the message left behind. While many people recognized him for his unusual appearance, humorous videos, and unpredictable personality, those who followed his career closely often spoke about how serious he was when it came to his music and creative work. Behind the jokes and strange characters was a person who reportedly cared deeply about art and wanted to create things that felt real and meaningful. Reports stated that one of the biggest turning points in his career came when he decided to separate from his longtime record label. According to his own public comments, he felt frustrated with the direction things were moving. He reportedly believed that too much attention was being placed on creating content designed for social media trends, rather than making music that reflected his personal vision. While many artists might have chosen to remain in a comfortable position with the support of a major company, he reportedly decided to take a different path. Sources claimed that he spent more than 2 years working on an album that was especially important to him. During that time, he reportedly traveled to dozens of countries around the world and recorded music in different locations. He explained that the project was not simply about making songs. It was also about creating experiences, meeting people, and collecting memories. According to reports, he wanted the album to represent the world he had seen and the lessons he had learned during his travels. The process was not always easy. Reports stated that there were disagreements over how the music should be released and promoted. At one point, he reportedly announced that the project had been canceled. Fans expressed disappointment and concern after hearing that news. However, according to reports, support from his audience helped create new discussions that eventually led to a solution. He later announced that the album would be released through his own label, giving him the freedom to present the music in the way he believed it should be heard. Despite that victory, Oliver Tree reportedly spoke openly about the challenges faced by independent artists. He explained that creating music, organizing tours, and producing large performances required significant amounts of money. According to reports, he understood that success on social media did not always translate into financial success in the real world. Millions of people might listen to a song online, but that did not guarantee ticket sales or long-term stability. Even so, he reportedly believed creative freedom was worth the risk. Beyond his music career, Oliver Tree also spoke publicly about difficult moments from his personal life. According to reports, one of the most important events happened when he was only 13 years old. His cousin reportedly became seriously ill with spinal meningitis and passed away within a short period of time. The loss had a powerful effect on him. He later explained that the experience changed the way he looked at life and made him realize how quickly everything could disappear. Reports stated that during his teenage years, he struggled with substance use and addiction. He reportedly became involved in destructive behavior and faced several personal challenges. According to his own account, there was a period when he felt lost and uncertain about his future. He later described a powerful psychedelic experience during which he imagined witnessing his own funeral. Whether viewed as symbolic or literal, He reportedly believed that experience changed his thinking forever. After that period, music reportedly became the force that helped him rebuild his life. He often described music as more than a career. According to reports, he viewed it as a source of healing, purpose, and direction. Instead of allowing addiction to control him, he focused his energy on creating songs, performing for audiences, and building a future through art. He explained that music gave him a second chance and allowed him to channel his emotions into something positive. Reports also highlighted his thoughts about money, success, and legacy. He reportedly stated that he had made plans regarding what would happen to his wealth in the future. According to those statements, he wanted much of his earnings to support other artists through a foundation created to help creative people pursue their dreams. He believed that many talented individuals never receive the support they need and hoped his success could eventually help others find opportunities. One idea appeared again and again whenever he spoke publicly. According to reports, he often reminded people that life is short and uncertain. He encouraged others to take chances, follow their passions, and avoid living only to satisfy the expectations of other people. He believed that difficult moments could become powerful lessons, and that pain could sometimes become the beginning of growth. His message was simple: time moves quickly. Opportunities do not last forever. Every day matters. As people reflected on the reports surrounding his life and career, many remembered those words. They remembered an artist who built his reputation by refusing to follow traditional rules. They remembered someone who was willing to take creative risks even when success was not guaranteed. Most of all, they remembered a person who encouraged others to live fully, think freely, and make the most of every moment they are given. So, who was Oliver Tree before fame? Let's delve deeper. From circus roots to creative identity, the rise of Oliver Tree. Oliver Tree was born on June 29, 1993, in Santa Cruz, California, a place known for art, music, and people who think differently. He grew up in a home that was full of creativity. His parents worked in the circus, so performance and entertainment were part of his daily life. From when he was very young, he was surrounded by music and art. He learned how to play piano as a child and started writing songs early. He did not focus on only one skill. He liked many things at the same time. He was interested in music, filmmaking, comedy, visual art, and performing in front of people. This made him different from many other children who usually focus on one path. He liked mixing ideas together and trying new things. As he grew older, he also became involved in professional scootering. He took it seriously and competed in the sport for several years. It was not just a hobby for him, it was something he trained for and worked hard at. But later, he got injured, and that changed his direction in life. After that, he began to see failure in a different way. Instead of seeing it as the end, he saw it as part of learning. He believed that falling down and making mistakes is part of getting better. This way of thinking stayed with him and helped shape how he worked in music and life. After school, he studied at San Francisco State University and later went to the California Institute of the Arts, where he studied music technology. During this time, he started thinking deeply about why some people become famous while others do not. He wondered why some artists get attention online while others stay unknown. He studied how the internet works and how people become popular. He even made a school project with the idea of how to turn yourself into a meme. This meant learning how to become something people share and talk about online. This idea later became important in his career. Before he became well known as Oliver Tree, he made music under different names. He tried many styles of music. He did electronic music, hip-hop, dubstep, and experimental sounds. He did not stay in one style because he liked to explore different sounds. In 2013, he signed with a music label called R&S Records. This was one of his first big steps into the music world. He also released an EP called Demons around that time. This helped more people notice him as a new artist. He also made a cover of a famous song called Karma Police by Radiohead. This cover got attention and showed that he had talent and creativity. Even at this early stage, He was not only thinking about music, he was also thinking about identity and how artists connect with people. He wanted to do more than just make songs. He wanted to create a full experience for people who watch and listen. One of his biggest creative ideas was a character he created called Turbo. This character had a bowl haircut, big clothes, large sunglasses, and a scooter. It looked funny and strange, but it was planned that way. The character was not random. It was based on his real life. The haircut came from his childhood. The scooter came from his years in scootering. So even though it looked like a cartoon character, it was partly real. Turbo became a way for him to show a bigger, louder version of himself. Later, he released songs like When I'm Down, which helped him get more attention. This led him to sign with Atlantic Records. This was a major step in his career because it gave him a bigger platform. But instead of changing his style to fit the label, he became even more creative and unusual. His videos became more strange, funny, and artistic. People were often unsure if he was joking or being serious. This confusion became part of his style. Even though he looked funny on the outside, his music often talked about serious feelings. He wrote about loneliness, sadness, identity, and heartbreak. Many people related to his songs because they were about real emotions. This mix of funny visuals and deep feelings made him different from many other artists. After the initial reactions and shock, more questions start to come up about Oliver Tree's reported death. So, what legacy did Oliver Tree leave behind? Let's learn more. Reactions, theories, and reflections after the crash. A public discussion has emerged around the reported death of Oliver Tree in a helicopter crash, with various commentators reacting to the news and exploring both emotional responses and broader interpretations of the incident. In the immediate reaction, speakers expressed shock at the report and described the situation as deeply tragic. One participant stated that they were not heavily familiar with Oliver Tree's music, but had still heard of him, noting that the news of his passing felt sudden and disturbing. The conversation quickly turned emotional, with individuals reflecting on the fragility of life and how unexpected such events can feel when they involve public figures. One speaker also expressed fear about helicopter travel in general, suggesting that they may avoid using helicopters in the future due to perceived safety risks. This led to a comparison between helicopter travel and commercial air travel, where helicopters were described as statistically more prone to accidents, reinforcing a growing sense of anxiety within the discussion. The conversation then shifted into speculation and conspiracy theories surrounding the incident. Some participants suggested that the crash may not have been a simple accident and raised the possibility that external forces could have been involved. These claims were tied to the idea that Oliver Tree may have had disagreements or tensions with powerful individuals or industry figures. Comparisons were drawn to other high-profile celebrity deaths that have historically generated conspiracy theories, with some speakers implying that similar patterns might be present in this case. However, this viewpoint was strongly challenged by others in the discussion, who rejected the idea as unrealistic and unsupported. They argued that the scenario of a coordinated attack on an artist over industry disagreements was highly unlikely and lacked credible evidence. The debate highlighted a clear divide between speculative interpretation and skepticism, with no consensus reached among participants. Another part of the discussion focused on events occurring in Brazil around the same period as the reported crash. Speakers noted that multiple unusual incidents appeared to be happening in the region, including unrelated accidents involving other individuals. One example mentioned involved a separate fatal incident, which some participants connected loosely to the helicopter crash due to timing and location. However, others pushed back against this interpretation, arguing that coincidences occur frequently and that unrelated events should not automatically be seen as connected. This portion of the discussion showed how rapidly narratives can form when multiple incidents occur close together geographically, even when there is no confirmed link between them. The group ultimately remained divided between those seeing patterns and those emphasizing randomness and probability. Further commentary also revisited Oliver Tree's public identity and artistic persona. One participant explained that Oliver Tree's public image, including his distinctive appearance and performance style, was partly a constructed character rather than a complete reflection of his private self. They emphasized that his green-haired, exaggerated persona was a creative performance designed for artistic expression and entertainment. This perspective suggested that his public behavior and interviews should be understood within the context of performance art, where reality and character are intentionally blended. As a result, some statements and actions attributed to him were described as potentially symbolic or part of his artistic expression, rather than literal personal disclosures. The discussion also turned to his financial plans and long-term intentions for his wealth. Participants referenced his reported statements about creating a foundation intended to support artists after his death. This initiative, described as a structured grant system for creative individuals, was presented as a central part of his legacy planning. According to the discussion, he expressed the belief that most of his wealth should not be passed directly to family members, but instead reinvested into artistic development. This sparked a broader debate among participants about wealth inheritance, responsibility, and legacy. Some argued that it is natural for parents to leave wealth to their children, while others supported the idea that inherited wealth can sometimes reduce motivation and create dependency. Real-life examples were referenced to support both perspectives, including cases where excessive wealth reportedly contributed to lack of purpose or personal struggle among heirs. The conversation further expanded into a broader reflection on purpose, mental health, and human motivation. One speaker emphasized the importance of having direction in life, suggesting that without purpose, individuals may struggle emotionally or psychologically regardless of financial status. This idea was particularly focused on men, with the argument that purpose is essential for stability and personal development. The discussion linked this concept back to earlier examples, suggesting that lack of direction can sometimes lead to destructive outcomes, even among individuals who appear to have financial security or social success. While not universally agreed upon, this perspective highlighted the belief that emotional fulfillment is tied more closely to purpose than to material wealth. Finally, the conversation returned to the topic of parenting and encouragement. Participants discussed how parents should guide their children when pursuing goals, even if those goals seem unrealistic or uncertain. One viewpoint argued that parents should always provide support and encouragement, allowing children to explore their ambitions freely. Another perspective emphasized balance, suggesting that honesty is also important while still maintaining emotional support. The overall conclusion of this portion of the discussion centered on the idea that success and failure are both part of personal growth, and that individuals are shaped more by persistence and experience than by immediate outcomes. What experiences and turning points shaped Oliver Tree's life and pushed him from a risky, unstable lifestyle into a more focused path in music and performance? Stay tuned for more. Oliver Tree's early life, risks and path into music and performance. Oliver Tree's early life is described as a mix of music work, hard personal experiences, and a growing public image that became more known over time. From when he was very young, he is said to have been interested in music. He started with piano lessons and later began trying to write his own songs. Some stories say he was already making music as a child, even before he became a teenager. As he grew older, he did not stay in one music style. He moved from rock music to rap music and later to electronic music. He kept changing and testing new sounds. He also learned how to make music on his own, not just sing, but also build beats and produce tracks. This helped him understand many sides of music creation. At the same time, he was also involved in scooter riding and action sports. He took part in competitions and became known for doing risky tricks. These activities later became part of his public image and stage style. Some reports also say he had a serious accident during a ramp event while moving very fast. This moment is described as very dangerous and close to life-threatening. It is often used to show how risky his early activities were. In his teenage years, his personal life was also described as very difficult. There are claims that he used substance heavily and lived an unstable lifestyle. One major event that is often mentioned is a desert festival experience where he took a very large amount of LSD. This experience is said to have almost ended him. After this event, it is described that he began to change his direction in life. He started to focus more on music and creative work instead of a risky lifestyle. This moment is often seen as a turning point in his life story. After this, he moved into electronic music and worked with a dubstep DJ in California. This helped him connect with other music makers and enter a wider music scene. It also helped him grow his skills and become more serious about making music. During his school years, he also joined a rap group with friends. In this group, he helped create beats and perform songs. This showed that he was not only a singer, but also someone who could build music from the ground up. Over time, he became known for switching between different music styles and not staying in one type of sound. This made him different from many other artists. His public image also became more strong as he mixed music with a unique look and performance style. He often created a character-like version of himself in public. Because of this, people sometimes found it hard to know what parts of his life were real and what parts were performance. Some stories about him are clear, while others are debated or not fully confirmed. This mix of truth and performance became part of how people saw him. It made his image more confusing, but also more interesting to the public. As his career grew, he became known for combining music, visuals, and personality into one style. This helped him stand out and gain attention from many listeners. His journey is often described as one where music, risk, and personal struggle all came together to shape who he became over time. With earlier reports pointing to possible illegal operations, technical issues, and resurfaced personal statements, what new details are now helping investigators understand how the helicopter collision actually happened? Let's take a closer look. Investigation into the helicopter collision and emerging reports. Authorities are still working to find the exact cause of the helicopter crash. They are reviewing flight records, pilot actions, and maintenance history to understand what went wrong. The investigation is focused on whether the crash happened because of human mistake, technical failure, or poor coordination during flight. Officials have confirmed that 2 helicopters collided in mid-air, leading to multiple deaths. The case is still under investigation and is being treated as a serious aviation accident, not a planned act. Reports also suggest that one of the helicopters may have been operating as an illegal air taxi. This means it may have been carrying passengers without proper approval from aviation authorities. There were earlier complaints about this aircraft, claiming it was used for passenger transport without permission. Because of this, investigators are checking if the helicopter had the right license for commercial operations. They are also reviewing maintenance records to see if safety inspections were missed or expired. There are claims that flight logs may not match correctly, and this is also being carefully examined. At the same time, old video clips have resurfaced, showing him speaking about problems with his record label. He explained that there was little support for his music and disagreements about creative control. He also said it was difficult to get his songs properly released and promoted. These comments show he had tension with the label during his career. After the crash, personal items believed to belong to him were found at the scene. Photos of these items spread quickly online and caused strong emotional reactions. Some clothing items were recognized by the public, which made the incident feel more personal to many fans. Officials have warned people not to rush into conclusions. They say there is no verified evidence linking the crash to any outside influence or planned action. Investigators are instead focusing on safety issues, pilot decisions, and possible communication errors. They are also checking whether flight rules and air traffic procedures were properly followed. This includes confirming whether the helicopters were cleared to be in that airspace at that time. Experts explain that mid-air collisions are rare, but can happen when small mistakes combine at the same time. These can include poor visibility, miscommunication, or simple human error. The investigation is still ongoing, and officials are collecting more evidence before final conclusions are made. For now, the focus is on understanding each step of the flight and what led to the collision. Public reaction has been strong, but authorities continue to stress that only confirmed findings will explain the true cause of the accident and help prevent similar events in the future. What do you think about the tragedy of Oliver Tree? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for following this deep dive into the unfolding story surrounding Oliver Tree and the helicopter crash reports. If this helped you understand the situation more clearly, like and subscribe. Click the next video to see more stories. See you in the next one.